Hi, is this the Liz McKay residence?
Yeah, one of them.
Nope. Smells like success to me.
Material girl.
I want Chanel 9 boots, so these steady jogging because they know I'm the truth.
My signature scent is actually something that my grandmother passed down to me.
Material girl.
And I get it from my mammy bar main bus downs. These hoes can't stand.
So it's very special to me.
Material girl.
Currently working on the gram, meanwhile pussy popping with your man in Miami.
Material girl.
Chanel's and pearls, that's the things that it take to keep the girl.
Material girl.
Hello, it has been a hot minute since I last did a commentary video, and there's been this trend that's no longer new, but I've been wanting to comment on forever, and that is the material girl trend. So let's dive into the positive side of the material girl trend, as well as the topic of, is possession empowerment? Should we let our things define us? Why does every girl want to look expensive? And some final thoughts on materials and beauty. Let's get started. Breaking down the material girl trend. While Madonna was the first one to sing about Material Girl in her 1984 hit, the Material Girl trend of recent years came from makeup artist, reality TV star, and rapper Saucy Santana. Santana's Material Girl is all about enjoying the finer things in life, as heard in her lyrics. Chanel's in Paris, that's the trick that it takes to keep the girls. Videos with the hashtag Material Girl have over 4.4 billion views, while hashtag Material Grow, I cannot say it correctly.
Girl.
No. Gura.
Girl.
Gura.
Swear.
No.
GWORL has over 1.9 billion.
I heard the girls is getting flown out to Aruba, Cancun, Brazil, Italy, Paris. And you wanna take me to McDonald's?
Let's talk a little about the positive side of this trend, the most outstanding of it being inclusive. It includes women of color, it includes people in the LGBTQ community, in a sense showing people celebrating themselves, living their best lives. Back in 2020, when the song first debuted, Paper Magazine wrote that the anthem suggests that anyone, regardless of gender identity, can be a material girl. As Saucy Santana told Billboard during the song's release, quote, "I want to show everybody that they can be how they want to be. People respect you more." Which brings us to the topic, is possession empowerment?
I'm not sure if you're aware, but I'm rich. Stupid rich.
Flexing wealth has long been seen in music videos to show power and success. This is especially true for marginalized groups. So, do materials have the ability to erase insecurities? Surprise or not a surprise? Psychologists find that materialistic values may stem from early insecurities and are linked to lower life satisfaction. In other words, materials to some might be used as a coping mechanism, like any other forms of addiction.
What does therapy look like for me? Wow, heavy question. Well, first I start off at Nordstrom.
Accruing more wealth may provide only a partial fix.
Guess what? I was laughed out of 12 interviews today.
And yet you're surprisingly upbeat.
Well, you would be too if you found Joan and David boots on sale, 50% off. They're my new, I don't need a job, I don't need my parents, I've got great boots.
According to the American Psychological Association, compared with Americans in 1957, today we own twice as many cars per person, eat out twice as often, and enjoy endless other commodities that weren't around then. Big screen TVs, air fryers, wireless devices, the metaverse, TikTok. But compare with our grandparents. Today's young adults have grown up with much more affluence, slightly less happiness, and much greater risk of depression and assorted social pathology, which becomes the American paradox. Spiritual hunger in an age of plenty. Also the title of a book by David Myers. It would be way too simplistic to say that desire for material wealth unequivocally means discontent. So let's look at, how should we let our things define us?
Oh, bro, who got you smiling like that? Like,
oh my God! Do you know what these
Manolo Blahnik, Mary Jane.
With all due respect, men I may not know, but shoes I know.
Regardless if you are a material girl or not, because we live in a material world, we are either defined by others or ourselves of our things. The kinds of clothes you wear define which class of aesthetics you belong to. The brands that you buy are more or less social proof to others of your purchasing power. The neighborhood you live in determines the types of people you run into on a frequent basis. Not all people who possess a lot are unhappy materialists, and not all people who barely possess anything are happy non-materialists. So why are some materialists unhappy?
You are an overspender. You are spending too much money on things that you do not need.
In The High Price of Materialism by psychologist Tim Kaser, he describes his and others' research showing that when people organize their lives around extrinsic goals, they report greater unhappiness in relationships, poorer moods, and more psychological problems. Kaser distinguishes extrinsic goals such as the focus on possessions, image, status, and receiving rewards and praise.
This is my moment.
From intrinsic ones, such as personal growth and community connection. So no, having a lot of materials doesn't necessarily make us unhappy as long as we're not chasing it out of deprivation like an addiction. And if we don't let the materials be our ultimate end goals. This is obviously easier said than done.
This is what I eat in a day in New York City as a rich famous person. Watered down cold brew, half a cup of yogurt and string cheese for breakfast. It was subpar. I had this wonderful smoothie, vanilla iced latte from Central Perk. Then we went to Catch and we had sushi and it was delish, as well as a lobster mac and cheese. And then we finished the night off with this exquisite pizza.
Thanks to today's media and social media landscape, a healthy and unhealthy flex of everyone's possessions is dictating the direction of beauty as expensive. So, is expensive equivalent to beauty? Maybe at a first glance one would scream, of course not. But let's think upon the question a little more. Why does everyone try to look? Emphasis on look expensive. We don't ever get a lookbook tutorial on how to look cheap. Why is that? Going back to the definition of a material girl, defined by Urban Dictionary as a girl who is very independent, not relying on other people, and fights for what she wants. A material girl also tends to like expensive and luxurious things. She is also a girl who knows what she wants and will do anything in her power to get it. They tend to show confidence and egotistical behaviors, even though they are not really like that. This definition to some extent explains why a lot of girls prefer to be material girls.
I don't wake up in the morning and look at myself in the mirror like, good morning, self-made billionaire.
I do. Materials do have the implication of power in a materialistic society, and it totally feels good to showcase that power and confidence, especially if it's self-earned. To me personally, I think regardless of price tag, being expensive is a mindset. If your mind feels expensive, aka you have your own individual thoughts and judgment, and your confidence is not dependent on external things like praises, purses, and price tags, you will feel the power that no Gucci or Balenciaga will bring you. As someone who does love fashion, I get excited about material things like clothes too. But just because me or someone else likes clothes or perhaps certain brands means we have zero depth and only care about material things. So yes, to a large extent, expensive is equivalent to beauty, but not in the sense of buying expensive, but feeling expensive and actually knowing your worth. So these are my thoughts on the material girl trend, as well as how the general beauty standard is trending toward an expensive vibe. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on being a material girl and dressing expensive. Hope you liked today's discussion. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram to join my growth journey. See you next week. Bye.
This is the end.